Hi there, my name's Jane Anderson. I'm a personal branding expert and I work with people who are experts in their field. So people who are speakers, trainers, coaches, podcasters, academics. So anybody who is aspiring to be the leader in their field or currently is and they want to grow their practice. So I help with areas such as marketing, sales, presentation skills, getting on speaking circuits, things like that, so that people can really grow their practices and go on to help more people in the world who need their help. And so what I'm often asked as part of, I run workshops and mentoring programs and often speak at conferences, and one of the things that I'm often asked about is Canva. And so what I thought I would do tonight is cover off and do this short video on a couple of things that perhaps you haven't thought about Canva before, or maybe you've heard about it and you've sort of had a bit of a go at it but you can't work it out, so you're not quite sure what to do with it. And I think it's a fantastic tool and it really saves you a lot of money. And I personally found, I'm certainly no graphic designer, but I found it a great tool to be able to help me to save some money on graphic design, because it does end up quite expensive when you're starting to use it quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around and have a look at Canva in a moment. But first of all, what I thought I would do is just share with you perhaps what you can use Canva for. So Canva was actually developed by a young Australian lady. So she's in her 20s and she's made a mozza out of it, and it's very clever. So what you might use it for is things like white papers. I'm often asked how do you use it for social media and like things like memes and things like that you can use on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and those places. And you can also use it for PowerPoint presentations and brochures and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to keep it really simple tonight, and just to be able to show you how you can use it for something like a meme is a really great way to go, and then you'll be able to use it for some other stuff. So let's have a look. Okay, so here we are on the Canva homepage, so it's canva.com, and if you log in here, you can sign in with obviously social media and things like that. There's some information over here. You can have a look around the product and about how it works and tools and things like that. In terms of cost, Canva is, I think I just used there's a sort of premium type feature, and it's a great price. I think it's $10 a month if you pay up front, or $12.95 at the moment if you pay monthly. I think it's a really good deal, and you certainly do. I find I save a lot of money on graphic design anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log in here, and you'll find when you log in here, it will take you to this area which is called Create a Design. Now, I already have some designs that I've been working on, so it's leaving the latest ones I've been working on down here. And along the top, you'll notice it has social media, Instagram posts, presentation, postcard, ebook, covers. So that's a cover if you want to create a book cover. Email headers, and you can create a whole lot of other things as well if you want. And then over on the left here, you can create a design. That's if you're really building something from scratch. Sometimes you might have people share things with you. You can create a team if you've got a team of people. I just use it myself. I don't have my team in with me. Your brand is where you can bring in or import your style guide, so you can bring in all the fonts and colors and things like that you've had created by a graphic designer if that's the case, and you can import all that, which is what I've done. So you can see, here's some of the colors and things off my graphic design and my style, out of my style guide, I should say. So that's why these all look like that. So they weren't automatically that color, so I was able to import it in there. Now, one of the things I get asked the most, and I'll just do an example here, is I get asked about how to create memes. And a meme is something that looks like this. It might be that so here is a picture of me and it says, being vulnerable is being strong. And so that's a piece of IP, and that would go with a blog. So I've written a whole blog on how and why being vulnerable is being strong, and how you can do that without feeling overexposed and a bit naked in front of people, or feel like you're losing your credibility. And so that image would go at the top of an Instagram post or a Facebook or a LinkedIn sort of post you could use it for, and then have the whole blog underneath that. these are also great for marketing your book. So you might have a statement out of your book and have a picture of your book here, and then your website and things like that. Now, I haven't built that. I wish I could take credit for designing that, but Canva has the template, and so I've just done that. I know it says huge Easter sale, but that's actually the name of that, so I can replace the name of that, and I can call that be vulnerable or something like that. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I might say, so what I'm going to do is let's do a meme like this so you can see how easy they are to do. So that's telling me to go to bed. So, okay, so let's go in here. So I'm going to go on the social media one, and this has, you know, a whole bunch of different sort of posts that I can create out of my social media. So it has some samples here, or some sample layouts. So I'm just going to scroll through here and just have a look and see if there's something that stands out to me that is sort of in the format of what I'm wanting to create. And you can see you can do all sorts of different backgrounds and work with something they've already got. But I'm looking for something more like, here's one. So this is a really good sort of one that you can use for books, and because you can put an image and then some words here, and you can change this image here and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do here is you'll see that I can just click on this this area here. Now can you see it's brought in, it's now highlighted that whole image, but what I'd like to do is replace that image with, and what you might like to do is replace it, I would suggest, if you're marketing you, is probably might want to be your face, you on stage, something like that. So I'm just going to go over here to my uploads area, and this is where I have uploaded some of my own images and photos. So these are all the photos that I've had done by a professional photographer. You can obviously use lots of other ones if you like. And the way that you would just upload those is you hit upload and you just put your own images in. So it's really simple and straightforward there. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to maybe have a look at, I might try using that image. Okay, so when it brings it in, you can see it puts it in just in the middle of the page, but if I go to move this, it's going to grab it and it's going to pop it where it thinks it should go. Now, that's not probably where I want it, so I'm just going to delete that, and that's not going to work for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that, so I can undo. And I'm going to take me out because that's probably not a very good choice of picture. What I would like to do, maybe I'll use this one. So what I'd like to do is drag and drop that on there. If I just push that over, it's now picked it up. And notice it's almost automatically cropped it for me. Actually, I don't even need to resize and muck around with it. So that's put that image there. Then what I want to do here is I'd like to change this color, and I'd like this color to be in my style guide. So I'm just going to click on here. Now because I previously imported my brand colors, which was back over where I pointed out on where to bring in your style guide. So it's saved my branding colors. So I'm going to pop that one there, and it adds that as a palette, which is so much quicker. The other thing that I have also previously imported here is that I can put in my font. So I might type something that might be off out of a piece of IP that I have. So it might be speak up, or it might be speak up, and I don't know, stand out from the crowd, something like that. Now, that's not a font that I would use. So what I'm going to do here is I have imported the font previously, and it's saved based on the style guide I brought in, which in my font is called Acumen Pro. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and that's now Acumen Pro. So now what I want is that to... So now that's a bit small, so I'm going to make that a bit bigger, And I'm going to put that, grab that, no, I want that, no, I want the text box, give me the text box, there we go. So speak up and stand out from the crowd. Now I don't want that little text box, so I can get rid of that little one. I'm just going to remove that text. And so instead of that one, I'm just going to import my logo. So I've already imported that previously as well. And so I've got that somewhere down here. Here we go. So here are a bunch of models and logos and things that I've used. And so I'm going to use this one. So I can just drag and drop that on there, and I can move that there. Now, when you're done, now that one, whoops, that little button there copies that, so I don't need a copy of that, so I just need one of those. And what I'm going to do is then you've got this option here, so this is where you can download. So you would download this, so it would be a PNG, or you've got a PDF, or or a JPEG, however you want that to work, or you can share straight off here, and you can email it, or you can put it into your social media. So you've got Twitter and Facebook here. You've got embed codes and things like that. So I just tend to download it. We save them in a file, and so I have them all in one spot somewhere else. But essentially that's all you have to do. It's pretty straightforward. So what I would encourage you to do is, there's all sorts of other things here, like you can change all sorts of backgrounds. So, you can change if you want that instead. Oh, because it has, they've overlaid the top. So in this case, it doesn't have a background. So, but you can, obviously add all different types of text and fonts and all sorts of things. If you have a style guide, I would recommend staying with your style guide. But if you don't have anything like that at the moment, you can do all sorts of different headings. You just, would drag, there you go, just has created a little text box for me, and I can start working with that if I like. And also it's got lots of elements. So if you need, here's got things like lines. So, if you need to create another line in here, so if I need to put that in there, now it's brought over one of the now obviously I probably wouldn't do that, but it just kind of gives you the idea. So there's all sorts of things in there. In terms of layouts, this is back to the layouts where we were. So you can choose, like, there's just literally like thousands of different layouts. It's unbelievable what's in there. And of course, then that's not even scratching the surface. So if I go, okay, I'm going to, it's all saved. Yeah, so it saves on the run, so you don't have to keep trying to make sure that you save things. So I'm just going to go back to my files here. So if I'm creating a white paper, I will generally use the presentation one, which is this one here. So if I go to presentation, for example, if I go in here, here are all these different layouts. So, if you look at, say, this is one that I've used, this orange one. And so if you look and you click on that, when you look through it, there's all the different layouts of the different pages. So you can come in and put your models in. I quite like that one for the white papers. But there are, then you can click on here. There's, so many different ones. So you can have a look at this one. It's got different sort of layouts and colours again. These are fantastic to use as brochures. as well, if you're wanting to use something that's a little bit more fresh and up to date, and just import your photos, use your fonts, or if not, you can use what they've got there. If you are a little bit early in your journey and you haven't necessarily spent that money or done a whole rebranding exercise or anything like that. So I would really encourage you to play with it. I think it's fantastic, and what I've noticed is that I've actually started to not necessarily. I've got a bit of an idea of the content, and I just start working directly in the document. So what I've found is I don't have to necessarily build it all in PowerPoint. I'm actually building it in the document now, and so it's also saving quite a lot of time. So I do hope that is helpful, and I think I would really encourage you to have a look at it, or if not, if you're a thought leader and you're working with your executive assistant or your VA or whoever, is to really encourage them to jump on and have a go at it. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and things like that are floating around, but from a thought leader perspective or an expert perspective, is a great way to save money, super fast, looks really nice and polished and professional, and really makes you stand out. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear how you go.